You were talking about giving with the
Okay,
Samaritan
giving as a
woman.
way to heal, right? So in other words, yeah. So let me summarize briefly for you guys, right? Um, he's positioning her, right, to heal, and basically the positioning here is give what you have. Once you give what you have, you will then be able to receive the second breath, the ability, not only in your life in general, but from within yourself, right? So this is not only saying if you learn to love, even if right after a heartbreak, if you continue to love whatever is around you, right, give the love you have to whoever is around, right, this not only positions you for the new love story that's waiting for you, right? This not only positions you to find love down the road, it also connects you to a deeper part of yourself, to an ability to love, which is, it connects you to the love within, right? Because you are loving, and therefore you're able to connect to this kind of a deeper source of love, right? So two things will happen. Let me summarize. Two things happen once you have a heartbreak and you continue to love whatever is around you, even if it's just your pet, right? Or your friends or your family, or maybe you mentor someone or something. Two things will happen. You are setting yourself up for the love down the line. And number two, you are positioning yourself for the second breath. In other words, as you love, you will receive the healing that you need. Let me say that again. As you love, you will actually receive the healing. Your heart will flow again, will be healthy again. Your heart will be able to be open again. This is how you heal. If you want to heal from a heartbreak quickly, right? We can go slow with this, right? You can drag a heartbreak for years. If you want to heal quickly, I will give you the remedy. Love. Just love whatever's around, right? As you practice this, your heart is actually becoming revived with this second breath, with this living water, right? That Jesus is talking about. This is the human nature. You don't even have to be a Christian to have this, right? Jesus is giving us a psychological secret, right? If you want to heal your heart, just love, right? Hold on, I need to, there's a recording I need to, that just got saved that I need to put on my computer so I don't lose it. Okay, back to you guys. Okay, so that's the idea. Okay, I hope you wrote it down. Two things happen when you love. When you have a heartbreak, you prepare yourself for down the road, right? You're able to attract love in that way. And number two, you are positioning yourself to receive this living water, this healing, right? This is what, and this is, notice how different this teaching is from everything we've done so far, right? Can anyone tell me what is the difference you're sensing between this particular teaching and everything we've done so far? This would be a great test question. I know, I'm just accumulating them. Yes, yes, yes. Excellent. And it's not about getting, right? You notice, right? It's not about go out and get new love, right? It's about go out and love. And then, so there's still the receiving, but it's more proactive, right? In other words, you're absolutely right, right? In most of the teachings we've done so far, whether it's Ecclesiastes, Upanishads, although Upanishads you had to do a little bit of meditation, right? But the Tao Te Ching, right? And even chapter 3, right, was all about receiving. Just relax, go with the flow, follow, be in tune, right? Here for the first time, Jesus is giving us some guidelines what to do. This is what you do if you want to find love. You don't go out and, now it's still in line with the rest, right? You don't go out and grasp it. You go out and give it. And as you're giving it, you will attract it, right? Um, very, very powerful teaching. Let me give you an example of this. This is very biblical. You have two examples of this, of how when you develop a loving, when you develop this kind of loving care, loving kindness, right, you attract love, right? There's two beautiful stories of women who were like this. You have the story of Rebecca and the story of Ruth. So I'll tell you briefly, since we have a little time. Yes, we have a little time. So anybody know the story of Rebecca? Is this a new story? How Rebecca got married? Okay. You know Abraham, right? Let's go back in the genealogy. Abraham had a son, Isaac. Isaac was single, and it was time to find him a wife. So Abraham sends his servant to his in-laws somewhere off in the east. And he's like, okay, go find a wife. And the servant is like, well, how? He's like, you'll figure it out. The angel of the Lord will go before you. Okay, so the servant goes, he travels with a big caravan, across the desert, gets to the extended family of Abraham. And now he's sitting, he goes to a well, right? And he's sitting by the well and he's like, fuck, how am I, basically, I'm figuring, right? How am I going to find this woman, right? And so he gets an idea, he prays, he's like, the woman that is for my master Isaac, it will be the one who will ask me to water, who will give me a drink, who will notice me and provide some hospitality. Now he's sitting there, right? He's covered by dust. He's traveled through the desert. He's just just taking a breath. This beautiful woman arrives, right? Young, beautiful. And she approaches him and she's like, would you like a drink? Oh, he's like, bingo. But then she continues. And would your camels like a drink? Now, it's a different thing giving a drink to one man to a caravan of camels. I don't know if you understand how much water she had to draw that day to get these camels. Camels drink like an elephant, right? They drink so much. She was drawing water for hours, right? And so he realizes, wow, this woman, she's it. And he gets to talk to her, and he finds out she's actually the cousin, right? At the time, cousins could get married. So he's a cousin of Isaac, right? And, he brings her back and so forth. So there's a beautiful story here in the sense that as a woman, right? And of course it works for men too. The fact that she was loving is what attracted the servant to her, is what attracted her true love to her, right? So that's one story, right, where developing love, even with a little, she was loving camels, right? She wasn't, on a dating site or a dating app trying to find the love of her life. She was just loving whoever was there, the camels, the old guy. She didn't know was going to bring her anything. That's just who she was. Second story is the story of Ruth, which we'll study in the winter, but give you a heads up. So this is a woman who lost everything. She lost her husband and was left with only her mother-in-law. And so mother-in-law decides to go back to her own people, right? And she's like, I'm going to leave you. You go back, get married someone else, make your life again. And she says, no, who will take care of you? I have to come with you. So she basically sacrificing any future marriage, right, to go with this old woman to take care of her. So as she's taking care of her, she ends up in a field gleaning for her, right, trying to get food. And turns out the field is owned by, right, Mr. Right, Prince Charming, whatever. And then the story goes that he notices her and so forth, and eventually, right, just through her loving kindness, she attracted again, right, love into her life. So this is what he's saying. If you want to attract love into your life, don't close off. Give to whoever's around, even if it's the birds that you're feeding every morning, right? Give, pour your heart. As you give, you will not only set yourself up for love down the line, you will also receive the healing of the second breath or the living water, right? Okay. So we have 5 minutes. Let's go briefly. Any questions before I go briefly towards the end with this peculiar idea of worshiping in spirit and truth? It's very peculiar. Yes. Okay, if it says we don't, we don't. The syllabus is the Bible. Yeah. Yes, we have a few holidays like this because, our own holidays, and then maybe there are extra holidays. But yeah, in this class I have a few days off. Yeah, absolutely. Okay, now let's go to this expression. We have 5 minutes. This is an interesting passage where now he becomes theological after having dealt with her heart, right? He becomes more theological, and now he's sounding more like when he's teaching Nicodemus. Where am I? Oh, why am I in Luke? John 4. Yes. Christian one has Hebrew Bible and the Gospels. Okay. Boom, boom, boom. Yes. So, okay, I'm trying to find the thread now. So after he told her, I will give you living water, blah, blah, blah. She says, give me this water, right? And then he says, go call your husband. She's like, damn, now what, right? So she tells him, or he reveals to her. And then now it gets theological, right? And she says, you're a prophet. And she starts to get polemic, right? Yeah, you people worship over there, but we worship over here. She's starting to go dig up the old griefs, right? Dig up the old tension between the Samaritans and the Jews. And without skipping a beat, he says this very powerful teaching, right? Neither on this mountain, right? The hour is coming when neither on this mountain nor in Jerusalem will you worship the Father. In other words, what he's doing right now is destroying both temples. Now you can see again why the priests are like irritated with this guy, right? Jerusalem temple, your temple, right? When he's talking about the mountains, he's talking about the temples because the temples were built on those mountains, right? So he's saying, the hour will come when there will be no temple in Jerusalem, no temple here. Completely different, right? He's ushering in this time where the temple will be us, right? Because we are inhabited here with this second breath. So then he continues. I believe this is happening. Okay. Then he continues and he says, the hour is coming, and this is the interesting expression, where the true worshipers will worship the Father in spirit and in truth. And I have always been intrigued. What does this mean to worship in spirit? So he's ushering a new spiritual era, right? He's ushering a new time where there's no more temple, basically no more religion, no more rituals, no more priests. Even we are not there yet, right? We still have churches and pastors and priests and synagogues, right? He's saying there will be a time, no priest, no synagogue, no church. Completely revolutionary spiritual era, right? Where we will worship in spirit and in truth. Okay, let's stop on that. What does it mean? You should know a little better now. What does it mean to worship in spirit? First of all, what does it mean to worship? Do I want to go there? To worship in the Hebrew, the verb actually means to submit. Similar to Islam, right? Where the Muslim is the one who submits. So worship is a form of surrender, okay? All right, so when he says worship, he's saying you will surrender in spirit and in truth. What does it mean, first of all? To surrender in spirit. Now, we've done enough of this so you can interpret the first part. To surrender to the spirit, what does it mean? We've talked about this. What spirit? What does he mean by spirit? Faith in what? Okay, yes, but the spirit specifically, what did we determine that it meant? Each time he talks about spirit or wind, which is, what does it mean? Wind, spirit, when he's talking about this? Yes, right? The second breath. Don't forget, right? So he's talking about this second breath. He's talking about his life, which he's about to transmit, right? So to surrender to the spirit, what does it mean? We talked about this last time when we compared with Tao Te Ching. Nasiri? The what? Not sure? Yeah? Delve into what? Almost. That's more Upanishad. Yes. Exactly, right? So to worship in spirit is to follow this. Remember, we talked about the spirit as the highest intelligence of the universe, right? This is the life that inhabits Jesus. It's also, it's a powerful life, right? Full of wisdom, power, love, right? You surrender to that and you are led. So this thing is living in you and moving you, right? In other words, when you worship in spirit, you're inhabited by love and you're following the rule of love. That's the idea, right? Because that is really, in essence, what is the life of Jesus, is love, right? So to worship in spirit, to worship to gain the substance of Jesus, to receive the substance or the essence of Jesus is to receive the ability to love, right? So everything you're doing in the name of love, that's to worship in spirit. You're following this second breath. You're following this movement. Now, in truth, I have always wondered what that is, and I will tell you what I found. The Christians usually say, oh, in truth, it means you got to follow the rules, truth is the law. right? So they say, yeah, it's good to follow the Spirit a little bit, but you still have to follow the scriptures and obey what is written there. So I don't think this is what Jesus is saying, right? First of all, because he was constantly trying to move us beyond what is written to something more primal, right? So I looked it up. I looked it up in Greek, the word for truth. So listen to this. This is so interesting. We can close with that. Truth in Greek means is aletheia. Heidegger also talks about this word, truth. Same word, aletheia. Let me spell it for you. Aletheia. Aletheia. Okay, that's the Greek word for truth. Now, I looked it up a little bit and saw that it was made of two words in Greek. A, and lethe, Lethe. And when I Googled lethe, I swear Wikipedia can be handy at times. Right? Did you know that Lethe was a river which flowed through the realm of the dead? Ah, you know this. Cool. That was completely new to me. It's a river which flows in the realm of the dead. So when you die, that's your first stop, that river. And when you sit by that river will take away all your memories, your identity, everything that you were on earth, so that you can enter the realm of the dead a nobody. Okay, basically. Right? You can't bring your memories and your identity in the realm of the dead. You enter pure spirit, right? So the river taking away or washing away your identity, your memories, who you are, right? So that's lethe, right? It has to do with oblivion, with forgetfulness, with losing one's identity. So what does lethe mean? Which is, means no, is a negation. And it has to do with truth. Can anyone tell me, therefore, what does aletheia mean now that we know what lethe means? What does it mean, truth, in the Greek? Means no. No, it's a negation. Almost, because it's not death, lethe. It takes away your identity, takes away your memories, takes away who you are.
Taking away your memories, then the opposite would be to gain more.
Yes. Aletheia, to remember who you are. Remember what truly is, right? In the Greek word for aletheia is to remember what was lost or forgotten. That's the etymological meaning of the Greek word aletheia, to remember what has been forgotten or hidden or disclosed, to reveal what has been disclosed. I'm coming closer and closer to Heidegger, right? And so when Jesus is saying, you will worship in truth, what is he saying? Now that we know this whole thing. Now Siri, help us.
She lost love. I think she's gonna rediscover love. Since that's what she lost or forgot, so she's gonna remember what she lost or forgot.
Ooh, I like the way you're putting it. I hadn't connected the two texts, actually. I was going more abstract, but I love that, right? He's giving her back her identity as a woman, her identity as a lover, right? Everything she had buried, he is uncovering, right? Everything she had lost in that river, right? In the Crimea River type thing, right? From, what's his face, that singer, right? He is uncovering everything she buried, repressed, lost, right? So to worship in spirit and in truth. So what Jesus is proposing is not only healing, but recovering who you truly were before that thing hit you, right? Before that heartbreak, who were you? Before that disappointment, that betrayal, who were you? That's what you are given back, right? This is part of the healing process. Once you give, you receive not only love, but yourself back, right? Thank you for connecting the two. That was brilliant. Very nice. Okay, you guys were super inspiring. I'm super inspired. I'm going to stop the recording. Any questions before we good? Okay, stop the recording.